Namaste everyone, this is Aga again with Tree of Life Spiritual Coaching. Today's topic is a difficult one. I wanted to talk about depression. The reason I thought about this topic is because in my work I come across a lot of patients who are dealing with very painful events from their life, often from their childhood. There's lots of unresolved emotions that come from abuse, mental, physical, emotional, and it's affecting the lives of many people on this planet. So I just wanted to record a video that touches on some tips, some techniques that I recommend in order to help you manage it, find strategies to deal with it, and come out of it. It is a process. Obviously it will take time, but as long as you do the work, you will actually succeed. So that's something that you should know, that as long as you don't give up on yourself, you will always succeed in coming out of this difficult spot. Depression actually is your mind, your spirit, your body, your mental side need to actually rest deeply. The reason you don't have energy, you don't want to communicate with others, is because you feel very drained by all this emotional turmoil that's happening inside of you, and you just want to go within in order to reestablish maybe new ways of dealing with the situation. So honor that time and don't try to force yourself too much with things that are going to create more difficulties, more tiredness that will drain you even more. Honor the time to rest, recuperate, find new strategies to come out of the corner and see your perspectives again. I also strongly suggest that you think of taking responsibility for how you feel, because your thoughts, your intentions brought you to this moment. And that's important, that we take full responsibility of how we feel, regardless of what we went through as children. We often blame our spouses, parents, abusers for how we feel. And here comes the power of forgiveness. If we're willing to forgive and take responsibility, observe that perhaps we agreed on some level to feel this way, and that has nothing to do with actual situation that caused that pain. This will open the door for forgiveness and for understanding that we actually hold the power of how we can perceive any situation. We can either perceive it from self-love perspective, self-compassion, understanding that we were not strong enough in some ways inside it. That's why we allow the energy, the negative energy, to affect us. Rather than pushing the responsibility on the person that created that situation for us. When we take that responsibility, it puts energy into our hands, into resolving that situation. So instead of wanting other person to come up with a solution, perhaps it's your father, your mother, you're looking to perhaps hear an apology, or you want them to change, instead of you taking control over how you feel every moment. So this is what I strongly advise, taking responsibility for how you feel. And if you are ready to make the changes, if you're ready to do the work, you will definitely succeed. And here are a few tips that I wanted to share with you that I have used myself and I recommend it to many patients. First one is to identify, observe, and interrupt negative self-talk. As a result of traumatic experience, and even before that, we usually are victims of conditioning, of mind patterns that were transferred to us from our parents, society, school. And when we're hurt, we believe that this happens because it was somehow our fault, and deeply subconsciously we start to have really negative opinion, image about ourselves. So it's very important that you try to control and observe every thought that comes to your mind and interrupt it. Learn how to judge the accuracy of your pessimistic thoughts and challenge your negative beliefs. belief system is like a program that we decided to download into our brain and use it. And if you're suffering from depression and this program doesn't really work for you, you don't feel better, I think it's time to recognize that maybe it is the belief system that you appropriated that is causing the pain and depression. And when something doesn't work for you, doesn't serve you, it is a good idea to challenge that and perhaps create a different belief system that will serve you better. So recognizing, analyzing where you are, how your brain functions, what are the triggers is a very important part of succeeding in the process of getting out of depression. Recognize that most worries, fears, and doubts are nothing more than old memories. Again, going back to that first statement, you're in a different situation now than you were, let's say, 5 years ago when something really negative happened. So applying the same rules to the situation that is new, that is different, it's not really going to work because the circumstances are different. If you recognize that, it might help you perhaps not react as much, but observe the way your thoughts pass through. I like to use the analogy of trains. Your thoughts can be like trains, and you can visualize them passing through the train station, and you are just observing them, and you're sitting on the train station and you don't enter the train. You want to learn about your mind patterns because they are a very powerful source of information about how you function, what you allow in your mind, and how it creates the blueprint for your life. So taking a step back and observing versus reacting is a very good way of learning about yourself. And then when you see a thought that excites you, follow that highest excitement, because this is what actually will guide you to the success, to happiness, to easy way of enjoying life versus struggling and trying to fight the system. You'll just find your own inner ways as a result of following your highest excitement, and things will become easy over time. The next tip I really recommend is to develop 5-to-1 positive ratio. Consciously generate 5 positive thoughts for every negative thought, feeling that comes up. So you're gonna have to work on that and really challenge your negative belief system. And every time you hear yourself saying something negative, judging yourself, you need to create 5 affirmations that will counterbalance the negative thought that you had about yourself. Also, don't blame yourself for pessimism, because again, you probably learned it from somebody else. Just understand it and be willing to work on it and change that. Understand that this is nothing that just the programming in your mind, and you can really, really work through your subconscious when you observe your thoughts, and you can remove it eventually and bring upon a new ways that you talk to yourself that are positive, that come from a place of self-love and self-respect, and also compassion towards yourself and your situation. Also, don't try to be happy. Just focus on meaningful work and relationships. Recognize what kinds of people are serving your goal, which kinds of people you should maybe remove from your life because they're not going to support you on the work that you're wanting to do for yourself. Remember, you're doing this work for yourself. You want to be happy. This is the reason why you live. Life is for thriving, not for struggling. So creating a platform for your work, meaningful work, will bring you great results, and you just want to separate yourself from negative thought, because that will just bring you down. And while you're healing, you're getting stronger. You just want to remove the energies from people, situations around you that can trigger the old reaction. Also, engage in pleasurable experiences for at least 60 seconds every hour. It's important that we we realize that happiness is our natural state, and even if it seems forceful, it's really great if you just fake it until you make it. You try to sing a song, jump, laugh, do something that will bring you that moment of joy, whatever it is, and have that mindful practice every hour. Make an accomplishment board listing every success in your life. That's really easy. Writing down your accomplishments, however small or however big, it doesn't matter. The list will be growing every day, and it will make you stronger. It will give you more confidence. You will also be starting to build up confidence based on your own belief system, not on somebody else's judgment, and that's very important. Develop resilience. When something negative happens, don't ruminate and create new strategies to succeed, because the success is really should be rated really by you, not everybody else. So of course we cannot control all the circumstances, and if something doesn't go accordingly to the plan, we can always alter it. Remember that in the universe every single thing changes all the time, so embrace the change and be happy with being flexible. This way you can actually achieve more. Use affirmations, but be realistic about your goals. And I do have an affirmation that I developed recently, and I just want to share it with you because it really works wonders for me, and you can alter it depending on what is your goal, but it basically goes like this. I want to accelerate my personal growth. I want to feel balanced, harmonious. I am willing and I'm open to accept an assistance in this process. So that could mean maybe seeing a therapist, seeing someone that can help you through that process, being open to receiving help and assistance from the outside, as well as from your inside, from your emotions, from your intuition. You have that knowledge within your body already, so recognize that. The other thing that I like to add is also my body emanates health. My body regenerates itself quickly. I'm willing to give up difficulty so that I can become an example of what humanity can be. It's important that we want to uplift ourselves from within, so we can be an example for others, how they can act, how they can think, because this energy spreads, and it's like a cascade. The more positive we are, the more we actually helping others achieve the same goal. Another thing that I recommend is also keeping the daily gratitude journal, or develop a habit of being grateful. Gratitude is the attitude. I wake up every day and do my chakra balancing exercise, and I start my day by expressing gratitude for what I have, for peace of mind that I have, for clarity, for guidance that I receive from spirit guides, from my higher self, and that really, really helps me stay extremely high on positivity, joy. Pretty much every moment of my life now is filled with surprises and reasons to celebrate, and that didn't happen overnight. I worked over 2 years for that, and as long as you find ways to be grateful, there will be more and more things that will appear in your life to be grateful for, and it will become an easy thing in the future. Also, do your own research and trust your intuition when it comes to taking actions. One thing that you might not know, but your body stores every emotion that is unreleased, every trauma is trapped in the body, unless you actively allow yourself to forgive the person, yourself, for this connection that you had, and safely release it back to Mother Nature for recycling. And for that, you probably will need to see someone, a specialist, maybe energy therapist like myself, or someone who can help you understand that you can actually relax these muscles that hold tension and let the energy pass through, cleanse you, purify you. And your intuition will be a very good way to do that. There is also a test that I would recommend. Since your body stores all the information, you can ask yourself if there's openness inside you about something, about a person, maybe a therapist, or maybe a situation. And simple body test that you can use looks like this. You put your fingers together and you create a circle. And then you take a finger and you ask yourself a question. For instance, is this person, friendship with this person serves my well-being? If the answer is yes, the circle will stay intact. You won't break through this circle. But if the answer is no, the body will respond by being weak and the circle will break. You can test anybody, any situation like that. Also a good way is just for you to observe your body. Your body has all the information within. If there is feeling of contraction, closeness, feeling trapped, then obviously you shouldn't really consider participating in whatever it is that you're thinking of. If there is a feeling of more openness, of agreement, then this is something to consider. Also a good question that you could ask would be, is this serving my my well-being, or am I acting from my highest integrity when you have questions about maybe making certain decision? And just have this dialogue with yourself and see what answers come up. And the more you practice this, the more clear it will become for you. Again, the key is to be determined, not to give up. As long as you do the work, you will see results, and I guarantee it. That would be all as far as the tips for dealing with depression, anxiety, feeling cornered in life, feeling that you have no way out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or a question underneath the link. And thank you for watching, and see you next time. Namaste.